welcome to this video. Today we're just going to take some time to talk about the significance of the Surya Namaskar. So the Surya Namaskar itself can be broken down into two words. Surya, meaning the sun, and in Vedic culture it refers to Lord Surya, the sun god himself. And Namaskar, meaning greetings or salutations. So together, put them together, we get the Sun Salutation. So Surya Namaskar is therefore a way that we can pay homage to the morning sun. And these postures acknowledge the daily routines of the sun rising and the sun setting. Sun rituals are something which are innate to nearly all heritages across the world. And in Vedic culture, worship of the sun and Lord Surya is offered through rituals, through prayers, and even mantras, including one of the most well-known of them all, the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Mantra translated into English means, "O God, you are omnipresent, omnipotent and almighty. You are light and you are knowledge and bliss. You are destroyer of our fear. You are creator of this universe. You are greatest of all. We bow down and we meditate upon your light. You guide our intellect in the right direction." So this video isn't actually about the Gayatri Mantra itself, and this topic is a video in and of itself. But hopefully this translation can help you to highlight and understand how significant our worship of the sun is, and that as humans we've incorporated such practices in our daily life to strengthen our connection to the solar energies that empower all life on earth. So the exact origins of the Surya Namaskar are actually unknown, but what is known is that in the 1920s it did become popularized by the King of Maharashtra. It's one of the most widely known yogic practices, and it's been incorporated into several different traditions such as Hatha, Vinyasa, and Ashtanga Yoga. The daily rising and setting of the sun itself measures time and space on earth, and our natural deep connection into these time-space dimensions. This is what we are actually acknowledging in the performance of the Sun Salutation. It's a steady, rhythmic sequence reflecting the rhythms of our universe. For example, we have the 24 hours in the day, and we have the 12 zodiac cycles in the year, and our innate biorhythms also, such as a female menstrual cycle, giving us a 28-day cycle. In the Surya Namaskar itself, there are 12 complete postures to complete one half of the right-hand side of the body. And then following on from this, we have another 12 postures starting on the left-hand side of the body. And in total, this makes 24 postures in total, which comprises and makes up 24 hours in our day.
The energetic body is made up of three main components. So running along the spine is Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. So these three energetic pulses are running along our spine. So basically what's happening from the core stem of the spine runs 72,000 energy centers or channels, we call them in yoga. So Sushumna, which I mentioned just now, is running along the central nervous system spinal column. So if you imagine a line, that's how it is. And it's running along through the central spinal system from the root base chakra, which is Muladhara chakra, and it's running upwards to the crown of the head. Now, as we know, there are 7 chakras in yoga, and all of them align along this central axis of Sushumna. Now, Ida is the representation of the feminine energy, and Pingala is the representation of the masculine energy. Ida emanates from the left side of the root base of spine, and it spirals through the central core, which is Sushumna, and it touches upon each of the 7 energy centers as it goes upward. It forms a crisscross pattern along its path, and it terminates on the left side of the third eye, so at Agna Chakra. it completes there. Pingala emanates from the right side of the root base of our spine, and similar to Ida Nadi, it spirals upward to the third eye center, and it terminates on the right side of the third eye center. Now, what are the benefits of doing our Surya Namaskar sequence? In this coordinated vinyasa or flowing sequence, the breath is what ensures us to really flow with these movements, so to make it a synchronized movement with breath. And this is the key to any vinyasa practice or yoga practice. We are balancing and harmonizing the energy centers or chakras, as we call them in yoga. So this vitalizing and balancing practice of Surya Namaskar works on many multiple levels, physically, mentally and spiritually. But obviously, like everything, we have to practice regularly. So this is the opening up to the doorway of how a meditative practice can begin. So this is leading us toward a meditative practice. And in the Vedic science of yoga, we believe that Sadhana, which is a daily practice, a personal practice, is what Surya Namaskar can actually offer us in giving us this space to meditate. So there's a big correlation between our practice of Sun Salutation and our Sun energy, known as Manipura chakra, the third chakra or solar plexus energy center, as it's known in Western terminology. So our solar plexus sits at our belly center, and this is our fire or Agni. So this is what gets us up in the morning. This is what propels us through our tasks during our day. And this is a very transformative energy, known for its digestion, breaking down quality, and ability to create energy here at this center. So Agni is the fire and is the heat in the body that does all those processes. So in relationship to Surya Namaskar, when we're doing the Sun Salutation, we are harmonizing and bringing balance to this fire energy, and acknowledging also its nourishing quality and its transformative capacity in bringing balance into our life.
The time before sunrise is known as Brahma Muhurt, which is creator's time, and it's said that it's the most calming time for a mind to connect and go into knowledge of source energy without the demands of the external world. In Ayurveda, it's said that waking up during Brahma Muhurta increases one's lifespan and helps us to avoid disease. So during the pre-dawn period, there's an increased availability of oxygen that's in the atmosphere, and this oxygen has the following benefits. Firstly, it boosts our immune system. Secondly, it increases our energy levels. Thirdly, it helps us to actually relieve pain. Fourth, it enhances the absorption of vitamins and minerals in the body. And lastly, our productivity multiplies exponentially. So there are a lot of benefits that we can get from waking up at this special time in the morning. Okay, one possible disadvantage of practicing in the early hours of the morning is that maybe your body hasn't quite adjusted to the cooler temperatures, and your heart and blood pressure will be a bit lower as you're in a rest and digest state of sleep. So as a result of this, you'll be needing to likely spend more time warming up. In Ayurveda, there is one nice practice that will help to counteract this, and that's Abhyanga. Abhyanga means to just massage some slightly warmed oil over the skin, and this just helps to encourage warmth into the joints and increase the mobility and flexibility for yourself. Another beneficial time to practice Surya Namaskar is during sunset, and this has been known to also help to stimulate the digestive fire. But in all honesty, Surya Namaskar can be practiced at any time of the day, but the point is always to make sure you do it on an empty stomach, and then you're good to go.
So listening to the body is really crucial, and in order to gain the maximum benefits from your yoga practice, we always recommend listening to the body. And as women, we are naturally going through changing cycles, whether it's from our menstrual period, every month, 28 days of cycles, or even if we're going through the menopause or perimenopause, there's a constant rhythm of these cycles within our life. The menstrual cycle is a sacred time, and it's a real time for you to draw inward and to become a little bit more conscious of what's going on in the body and in the mind. So really taking that opportunity to rest more and to listen more to the body. You might like to rest, in Shavasana for longer after your practice, or you may just prefer to do less Surya Namaskar or take it much slower. Again, listening is always important, no need to push. And as women, we are always being pulled into different directions, whether it's in our lifestyle, in our jobs. Modern day living and family commitments are always pulling at us. The great Iyengar teachers of our age have spoken about how women are recommended not to do inversions or forward bending or perhaps downward dog when they're menstruating because of the heavy flow of blood. It's a recommendation. It doesn't mean that every woman has to apply that. You may feel that you're very comfortable doing your downward dog through the menstrual cycle, and likely if that's how you experience it to be, then that's fine as well. Forward bending is also something that you can do, but obviously always listening to the body is crucial. Perimenopause and menopause. This is also another changing time for women. And as you go through these fluctuating times where the hormones are up and down, the estrogen levels are dropping, your progesterone levels are dropping, you will feel much more fatigued. You may be suffering from insomnia or varying symptoms that can impact how you feel and your sleeping patterns generally. You might also be suffering from hot flushes. These are all things to consider. So again, Surya Namaskar is something that you can do. You may prefer to do a modified version that we've offered. You may prefer to do one seated at a chair. Or you may just prefer to hold certain postures for longer, like the forward standing bend. This will just alleviate the heat in the body, calming down the nervous system as you move more into a parasympathetic zone, which is your rest and digest. However, like in all things, yoga is always the mantra, listen to the body. And balancing the hormones is crucial in this particular stage of your life as a woman.